The Night Warden, a true story from the UK. My name's Chloe. I'm from Manchester, England, and this happened to me in 2022, when I was working part-time as a night warden for a student accommodation near the city center. It wasn't a glamorous job. Basically, I just sat at the reception desk overnight, made sure nobody broke anything, and called maintenance if something went wrong. The building was old. It used to be an office block before being converted into student flats. It still had that corporate, sterile feeling to it. The long white corridors, humming lights, and doors that all looked the same. But I didn't mind. The pay was decent, and I could do my uni work during my shift. Everything was fine for the first few weeks, until one night in November. It was around 2:30 in the morning. I was sitting at the desk, scrolling through my phone, when the fire alarm suddenly went off. It wasn't unusual. Students sometimes burned food or smoked indoors. But the weird thing was, the alarm panel showed the trigger came from the 6th floor, flat 614. That room was empty. I knew it because it had been vacant since I started working there. The door was sealed with a maintenance tag, and the system logs confirmed no one had entered for weeks. Still, procedure said I had to go check. So I grabbed my flashlight and keycard and headed upstairs. The lift was out of order that week, so I took the stairs. Each floor I climbed, the sound of the alarm echoed louder, bouncing off the narrow concrete walls. When I reached the 6th floor, the corridor was filled with that strobing red light from the emergency alarm. Everything flickered, on and off, like the building was breathing. I walked down the hallway toward 614. The door still had the yellow maintenance sticker across it. It looked untouched. But the moment I got closer, I heard something from inside. It sounded like water running. I tapped the door and shouted, "Hello? Security." No answer. Then I noticed something that made my stomach twist. A thin trickle of water seeping out from under the door, spreading slowly across the hallway floor. I swiped my card and pushed the door open. The light inside flickered, like the bulbs were fighting to stay alive. The entire floor of the flat was soaked, but there was no burst pipe, no fire, nothing. And the sound, it wasn't water. It was whispering. I swear to God it was whispering, coming from the bedroom at the end of the hall. My first thought was that maybe some students had broken in. But when I reached the bedroom door and looked inside, my blood went cold. The air felt heavy, damp, like the walls were sweating. On the floor, there was a puddle in the exact shape of a person lying down, like someone had been soaked and then vanished, leaving only a wet outline. The whispering stopped, and then the door slammed shut behind me. I spun around and tried to open it, but the handle wouldn't budge. The emergency light flickered again, and that's when I saw movement in the reflection of the window. A tall figure was standing right behind me, but when I turned, there was nothing. My flashlight cut through the dark, revealing only that same wet outline on the carpet. Then I noticed something new. On the wall, near the ceiling, written in condensation, "Let me out." That's when the door handle started rattling. Not from the outside, but from inside the room, like something invisible was trying to grab it. I screamed and slammed my shoulder into the door until it finally burst open. I sprinted down the corridor, nearly slipping on the water, and ran down all 6 flights of stairs without stopping. When I got back to the reception desk, the fire alarm had stopped. I called the on-call supervisor, a guy named Derek, and told him what happened. He thought I was joking. But when he came to check, he found the same thing. Water on the floor and "Let me out" written on the wall. He made me sit in the lobby while he called maintenance. About an hour later, one of the older maintenance men showed up. When we explained what we saw, he went pale. Then he told us something I'll never forget. Apparently, 2 years before the building was turned into student flats, a security guard had drowned in that same room. He was found face down in a puddle of water on the carpet. No burst pipes, no flooding, just water, and condensation spelling the words, "Let me out," on the wall. The police never explained it. They said maybe a pipe leaked and filled the room with steam, but the coroner's report said he drowned in fresh water, and there were no leaks anywhere. After that night, I refused to do any more shifts alone. A few weeks later, management quietly closed off flat 614. They said it needed electrical rewiring, but everyone on staff knew better. Sometimes, late at night, the fire alarm still triggers from that floor, always from the same room. And when the system logs print out, they show a name that doesn't exist in the staff database anymore. J. Morley, night warden. That was the guard who died. I still work in security, but I'll never forget that smell, the damp, metallic scent of water that isn't supposed to be there. And every time I hear an alarm go off in an empty building, I wonder if someone's trying to get out.